The modern airframe is basically made up of three simple forms: the round hoops, the stringers running along the length of the fuselage, and the outer sheet covering. They're all fastened together by rivets. Rivet, stringer and sheet are all made of similar aluminium alloys, and as we've already seen, the materials come in two distinct conditions. In their soft condition, aluminium alloys are ideal for forming sheets and for producing a rivet that won't shatter when hammered, but they don't possess much strength. In their hardened state, the alloys are strong enough for flight but can't be formed. Some way has to be found to form the rivets and panels while they're soft and ductile, then strengthen them for a lifetime's flying. The answer's the same from the largest sheet to the smallest rivet. It uses a recipe which at first sight seems more like cookery than science. It's only when you understand what's going on at the atomic level that you see why the treatment has to be done this way. What goes on at this scale is the same whether the atoms belong to a single rivet or a large sheet. The trick is to shift the copper atoms in the alloy in relation to the aluminium ones. The panel sheet, as it comes from the manufacturers, has to be heated to a temperature close to melting point. At such a temperature, the copper atoms behave like sugar in a hot cup of tea. Individual grains dissolve and disperse the sugar evenly in solution. Of course, the difference between the aluminium sheet and the cup of tea is that tea is liquid and the alloy's solid. It has to be, or that would be the end of the sheet. Metallurgists call this kind of solution a solid solution. With atoms evenly dispersed, the sheet will be formable. Then the atoms have to be tricked in order to keep them in solid solution while cold. This is done by suddenly quenching them in water. There isn't time to move. As the temperature plunges, the copper atoms are trapped in the positions they held while hot, dissolved and dispersed like the sugar in hot sweet tea. In this state, the material is malleable and ductile and can be made into the desired airframe shape or formed. But not for long. After about 2 hours, the atoms start to change position again. They cluster together in an attempt to come out of solid solution, just as sugar precipitates out of cold sweet tea. When the sheet's already been formed, this process, known as natural aging, is a crucial strengthening mechanism. What must be prevented is for an unformed sheet to harden, and the way to stop that is to pop it in the fridge. At sub-zero temperatures, the movement of the atoms is slowed right down, and the sheets can be stored for over a week. Hardening still begins when the sheet is brought back out to room temperature. Once a component has been formed, the natural aging is encouraged. Critical parts made of certain alloys can have their strength boosted by artificial aging. To achieve this requires heating for a few hours at up to 200 degrees Celsius. Such treatment can hardly be given to the whole aeroplane, so most parts harden by natural aging, as the airframes stand in the factory. The whole process is called precipitation hardening, and its ingenuity lies in thwarting atomic equilibrium. After 5 days, the sheets and rivets will have lost practically all their formability and developed twice the strength.